losing it, girl. You are losing it!
You think so? Whatever I lost a long time ago, and I do not plan on losing anything else.
Purple nectar.
Purple nectar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Are you fired up?
Yeah,
Are you pumped
indeed.
up?
Oh my God!
Woohoo!
I need to go kick ass somewhere.
That's it. That's it. Don't kick our ass, Patricia. Don't kick our ass.
All right. Okay.
But the zombies are going down. That's right.
Totally.
Patricia Tallman is in the house hanging out with the samurai guy in the movie dojo and Cryptik Soul, my brother from another mother. That's right. Oh, yeah. We have her here. Thank you so much. It is an honor, really. It really is an honor that you're here on the show because we're big fans. And before we get into your filmography and bounce around, and I'm sure you have lots of stories, behind the scenes stories for us and all that stuff, because it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Leading up to getting you on the show, me and my buddy Cryptik up here, we were discussing how we were discussing horror movie remakes. And we had this long discussion, and we were just kind of like, 80% of the time, they always get it wrong. They always blow it. You know what I mean? It's very rare, right, that they actually do a great remake. And you could say that for anything, the action genre or whatever. But we both at this. It was like it was destiny. Like we both at the same time. We had the psychic link. That's right. We're X-Men. We're X-Men, and we had the psychic link, and we were like, dude. Night of the Living Dead is gotta be one of the best horror remakes of all time. That's right, 1990, Tom Savini's son. And we were just like, dude, Patricia was amazing in that. And then we kind of fanboyed and all that stuff. So we're fanboying now that you're here. So this is amazing that you're here. And how have you been?
Good. I'm so grateful that, we were talking before the show started, just like feeling like the world is starting to get a grip and, gently opening back up and being safe. And I'm very grateful for that. So, because I started a travel business and I just like, what happened?
That's awesome, though.
Wow,
hey.
it is awesome.
Yeah.
I had the best trip I'd ever done when I led a trip to New Zealand, and we covered both islands, we followed the Lord of the Rings all the way. And that was at the end of 2019. So we just got that in before the world shut down again. So
you did the Lord of the Rings tour?
I did, man.
Oh man, I would have loved that. That's
epic.
Amazing.
It was so epic. We had so much fun, and a bunch of those people are joining me for the Africa trip that I'm running in 2022. So
nice.
Yes.
Fun times.
Very excited. Yeah.
That's right. Hit up Patricia. That's right. You want to go to Africa trip? That's right. Cryptik Soul, how you doing, my friend?
Good, man. Just recovering from a cold and just getting myself ready for Germany and seeing the lovely one over there.
Oh,
are you going for the convention? Isn't there a big convention coming up over there?
Yeah, there was
there's
the weekend of
FedCon.
Hell.
Oh. There. Okay, I think there's another one this coming weekend. FedCon.
So if my missus is okay, like we should be visiting Tom McLaughlin over there. So.
Oh, all right. Well, speaking of the lovely one, here she is.
Oh, nice.
She said, "Hey, Stella, how are you?"
Stella.
Let's do it together, Patricia.
Oh, it's awesome, and we mean that in the best way.
Yeah, that's awesome. She's cool peeps. But yeah, Movie Dojo Army is here. We got Jake Hall in the house. He says. Hello, PhatSamuraiGuy, Patricia Tallman, Cryptik Soul, and the
What's
Movie
good,
Dojo
Jake Hall?
That's right. We got Heather in the house. What's going on? Gene, Bo McCubbins, Nigel. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey, everybody. And I know
Oh,
more will join in. I know.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nigel says, "Well, I don't need to go to work from my lunch break. My boss understands. Tallman is awesome."
What? That's so
Hey,
sweet.
don't
I love
don't
it.
get in trouble, Nigel. we appreciate you hanging out and watching. And we got flicks,
Yeah.
snacks, and knickknacks. What's going on, brother? All right. It is awesome. So let's go ahead and jump around a little bit and have some fun with your filmography, and then we'll go into some of your stunt work at the end there. And that's another reason why. I mean, we're horror movie fans, me and Cryptik, but Cryptik himself is a phenomenal rapper, by the way, and musician. But he's a man of all trades, martial artist, but stuntman himself. So he was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to hear Patricia's stunt."
Right.
Stories, and we'll get into that when we get there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's go back to the beginning here. Before we jump into it, what gave you the bug to first try to get into acting?
I don't remember ever not having that bug. It was just,
All right.
yeah, there was never a question, I guess. It was one of those weird things as a kid. So I was writing stories and reenacting things and performing for my family with my cousins from, toddler on up. So it's just one of those
Right.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So you always had it. That's awesome.
I
Hey.
did. Here's something that I think is kind of interesting. It's just for thinking about your life, and you're going towards the things that you love. When I was a kid, I loved Star Trek because we watched the original Star Trek with my dad, and I loved Dark Shadows.
Oh.
When it was, because I was born in the 50s, so this was, and you watched TV when it was on. There was no rewatching it, or there was no VCRs. You only had 3 channels,
Right.
and you
Right.
watched what was on when it was on. That was it. Those
That
were
was
your
it, yeah.
choices. So I would run home from school to see Dark Shadows. It was just this campy, fabulous, scary show. It was so cool. And I
Yeah.
end up in sci-fi and horror in my career. I just
Yeah.
think that's kind of really interesting.
Yeah. That is pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
I used to always get together with my cousins, and we would act out Star Trek. We would act out Dark Shadows and scary stories with our dolls, and
Yeah.
it's just really interesting to me. Yeah,
It
then
was-
my career took that trajectory.
It was destiny.
I
That's
guess
it.
so. I guess
That's
so.
it. And how I'm sure Cryptik wants to ask. Well, I'll ask for him. So you've always had the acting bug.
Yes.
But what got you into stunts?
I fell into it. Oh, sorry, I have to say that. Thank you. While I was in college, I went to Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh in the acting department, and we had a stage combat class, and I just loved it. I love telling stories through action. I also took a fencing course as an optional in school, and so I loved swords. And when I got to New York, I was taking some period sword technique classes because nerd. And I met people in there that were doing stunts. And one of the stunt coordinators said, I need a woman 5'9" with red hair to fall down some stairs to double this actress on a show. Would you do it? And I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't know, So they trained me. And that's a lot what happens. Cryptik, you probably knows this. You hang out with other people doing what you do or doing what you want to do, and you learn from them. And there are some stunt schools, but for the most part, at least back in my day, you learned from the group ahead of you. And they brought you along because you served a purpose. Either I was a good size because I was tall and thin in those days, not so thin anymore, but in those days I was, and I could double a lot of actresses. So I was useful to them as long as I turned out to have heart, be willing to take the hard hits. And and it just turned out to be something I was good at. Who knew? It's so random. I'd never,
awesome.
ever thought about being a stunt person as a career. It's just, I didn't really have that perspective. I was coming from a theater background, not really film and TV. Film and TV became a necessity because I couldn't really make a living in the theater. The money is not great. And so,
Yeah.
followed the necessity for a while too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome because I mean, like, like no pun intended, you fell into it, but
Totally.
you did get a little bit of a rush.
Oh,
So
sure.
it's like that's awesome, And Cryptik, she just said she loves swords.
Right. So the thing is,
we're-
like, in doing stunt work, like, did you end up like with any serious injuries?
Yeah, I did. I don't want to be all dramatic and all that, but I think there's a reason they call it stunts, and there's a reason that they hire people to do this, because the likelihood is high someone's going to get hurt. Plus, a lot of the actors aren't necessarily trained in whatever skill they might need for a role. And that's where Cryptik and I come in. Hopefully we have those chops. And I took a hard hit on what's called a ratchet, which broke my back.
Oh my goodness.
But here's the thing I didn't know. I always thought if you broke your back, it was like Night of the Living Dead with that guy that was in the lawn and he's trying to, with his body bent in half. That's to me what breaking your back looks like. But turns out you can almost move around okay without even realizing you broke your back. It will catch up with you, which it did by the next day. But I had a concussion on that as well, because it gave me a concussion in that hit. And I was so dazed and confused. I really didn't. And I broke some bones in my fingers. And so I was aware of that. I just wasn't quite aware that there was something else wrong. But the next day I couldn't get out of bed. It was really bizarre. So and I'm fine, but it wasn't, it could have been so much worse. I have a stunt woman friend, she's passed, but she broke her back in a high fall and was not able to move from the neck down ever again.
Oh man.
Christopher Reeve, who, broke his back and his neck. So there's by the grace of God, there goes I, so I've been very, very fortunate. I've broken other bones too, and a lot of concussions. And, I think what I'm dealing with now is the hardest part as I get older. I'm 64 and
well, you don't look it.
Oh, thank you. But I have some significant aches and pains and arthritis because of the constant hard hits that I've taken over the years. So there is that. 2 kids, if you're considering a career in stunts, and I know we all think we're immortal when we're young,
Right.
and that we're invincible.
Well, look at you. You're a badass. You didn't even know you hurt your back. You're just walking around.
I bet that I've broken my coccyx a bunch of times, but the right in the small of my back. Anyway, so yeah, I would really caution people to consider deeply, the impact on your well-being if that is something you really want to do.
Right.
And stunts are a little different now because we do have special effects that help, and you don't have to necessarily put yourself in mortal danger all the time. So that's really good.
Right.
Really,
right.
Yeah.
That is true. That is a good point. Definitely. It's a good point. You got Gene here saying, I love Patricia Tallman from Army of Darkness.
Oh, thanks,
That's right.
Gene.
Oh, yeah. And down here, Flick says, big fan of Patricia's work. Awesome to see her on the show.
Thank
That's
you,
right.
Flick.
Fans are showing
Appreciate
up.
it. I do appreciate it.
So let's deep dive here. So, how did you get? How was it working with this legend here?
Amazing, huh? So, just quick story behind that photo. They needed some close-up shots around Billy's casket, his grave.
Yeah.
And so Molly is a friend of mine, and she stepped in as Cynthia Adler's character Rocky, and I stepped in as Rocky's girlfriend. And so because they were shooting us like for the waist down, so it didn't matter. And we just happened to still be around. And the rest of the cast and crew were minimal at that point. Everyone had gone home. That's George Romero in the middle, and what a legend. What a great guy. I'm so grateful he was.
So was this your first film?
That's right. So
Night Riders, man.
First
Look
time
at
I was ever in front of a camera. I'd never been in front of a camera before. I've been on stage. I was a theater trained actress. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, you look like you were having a blast.
Gary. I just talked to him on the phone a little while ago because we hadn't talked in decades, and we just caught up. He sounds so good.
How's he? He's doing well?
He is doing well.
Oh,
He's a sweet man. Just a great guy. Yep.
But yeah, this was a fun movie. But I mean, man, there's so many people in here. I mean, Ken Foree, Tom Savini. I mean, there's Ed Harris
and Scotty Rydiger.
How was it working with Ed?
Great. he's a force of nature and just a deeply kind person, and so talented. I would go to the set on days I wasn't working just to watch him work.
Yeah.
Because it was that phenomenal. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. He's
I
Ed
was
Harris.
all of like 21. So, for me, this was
Yeah.
wow.
I know, right?
And he wasn't Ed Harris yet.
I know.
He didn't have that resume behind him.
Yeah.
He was just this phenomenal actor that was about to break out.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend. That's awesome.
Yes.
You got to work with all these legends in their own right. But
That's
yeah,
right.
there was, speaking of stunts, there were some really good stunts in this movie, man.
Every day, a stunt guy got hurt badly enough to be sent back to Los Angeles.
Wow.
They got hurt. They got
Every day.
messed up every day. I mean, badly messed up. And it's just like, I didn't, at that point, I hadn't even considered being a stunt person, but I met all these stunt guys because we were in this little motel in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. We hung out. Everybody hung out, not just the stunt guys. But I got to know them and their girlfriends and their families. And by the time I moved to Los Angeles, I called them. I was like calling the guys up going, by then I was ready to pursue this stunt career thing.
That's awesome. What cracked me up was he had a Stephen King cameo in the movie.
Nice.
What I love about Stephen King and George is that they're both they're masters of horror. You expect to meet them and just be intimidated as shit. They're both really tall, right? They're big men, but they are teddy bears. They're so nice. Stephen King was so sweet, and I was just waiting to be, horrified by him. But he was just lovely.
But his character cracked me up. He's like, it's all fake. He's like, them hitting each other. It's all fake. It's like wrestling. It's fake. I was laughing. I was busting up. But yeah, that was definitely a fun flick.
So fun.
But Tales from the Dark Side.
Oh,
The family reunion episode. Look at you in that makeup there.
Oh my God, was I tortured?
How long? Oh, okay. Here we go. How long did it take you for them to put you in that makeup?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably 2.5 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, the witch was worse. The witch in Army is worse. But that was the first time I'd sported that kind of makeup. And I actually loved it for the character work. It's not fun to wear around while you're waiting to shoot.
Right.
But it's definitely cool on camera. It's a cool thing. And I was actually salivating, like just gross. And Tom's like, no, don't clean it up. I want you drooling like that on camera. We just want it. I was like, oh, oh, God.
So it worked for the character in the end.
They didn't need to put any slime on me. Let's just put it that way.
You just went method.
I totally was method.
That's it. Method acting. So you continued working with George in Monkey Shines.
Yeah.
How was it working on the set?
Cool. I was able to, because it really wasn't a role for me, and I did double her for a head hit, but I helped behind the scenes. I was doing casting mostly, working with actors, and I loved doing that. That was very cool. I didn't want to do it for a career, but I really did enjoy helping actors do their best and wanting them to get their roles. That would be so cool. I love that. Yeah, it was fun.
Any crazy stories with the monkey?
Yeah, Ella was a little piece of work. We had 3 monkeys. We had one main monkey, and then the other monkeys were they had to go through makeup to look exactly like our main monkey.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because they were, capuchins are varied in color, just like all of us are, and they had different markings, so they had to kind of make them all match. And the monkeys are amazing and really cool, but they're also stinkers. They have personalities. And Jason Begay, who was our lead, also a terrific actor, a really sweet man, but she got rude with him.
Oh no.
And he's supposed to not be able to move.
Yeah.
And there's times when she would be just a stinker. But the worst was when she shit in her hand and slapped it in his mouth.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. We were all out going. Oh my God. And of course he's like, wow. It was bad. It was bad. What the fuck? I mean,
Wow. I was not expecting that. Wow,
oh
that's
my,
hilarious.
no, none
Oh
of
my
us
God.
were, much less poor Jason. But yeah, monkeys they have their own thing going on. They're just little people.
Yeah, yeah. They like messing with people. There it
They'll mess
is.
with you. They'll mess
Oh
with
my
you.
God. Wow. That is hilarious. Jake Hall here says respect for Patricia and Cryptik for the stunts they do in movies. Y'all are badasses. That's right.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you. Appreciate
That's
it,
right.
Jake.
And
Appreciate
we
it.
have Morning Star here, the psychic legend of Leah Alexander. OMG. There you go. Everybody's losing it right now. We're losing it.
Aw,
This
that's
is
really
awesome.
sweet. I appreciate it.
Wow, that is really hilarious about the monkey. Let's keep it rocking and
Because
rolling
now
here.
I've staged all my other stories. I guess.
That's it. That's it.
Just
That's
because
it.
that visceral reaction.
Just out of curiosity, out of all the other podcasts you've done, has anyone asked any questions about the monkey?
No.
Yo,
No.
Yes.
exclusive story.
I've never shared that story.
That's what you
I've
get.
never shared
Exclusive
that
story
It
here on the
just never
channel.
came up with it. It's kind of not my story to share, but I don't think it's a problem to to mention it.
Oh man, let's keep it going here. Having a blast. All right, so
Roadhouse. So
Roadhouse, son.
this was my first stunt job in Los Angeles, and I had made the grievous choice to attend a softball game with my alumni from school the weekend. So I worked on Monday on Roadhouse, and Sunday we played the softball game. And guess what Tallman does? I hit a base spike that we didn't see because we were just on a school softball diamond, and we didn't have any actual base pads to hook in. But
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
even know it was there, and it went through my knee, this spike. So I end up in the emergency room on Sunday. They're stitching me up. They're going to put me in a cast. I said, if you put me in a cast, I'm going to chew it off because I have a job tomorrow. It's my first job, big stunt coordinator. I am not going to screw this up. And they're like, you can't bend your leg. You can't even really walk on it. And you're going to, and I said, I don't care what you think. This is this is my
Look at
life.
that.
And so they taped it up. I had like 18, 19 stitches in my knee, and they taped me all up. I was in crazy pain, and I couldn't take the pain meds because I couldn't be loopy. I couldn't be
Right.
out
Oh
of it
man,
at all.
so you had to grit and bear it.
And they gave me a Velcro cast. So
Okay.
I used the Velcro cast up until, and I drove myself to work, and I have a stick shift. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to, the clutches. It was awful, guys. It was really one of the most extreme things I've been through. And I get to the set, and I'm taking off the cast without bending my leg, leaving the cast in the car, leaving the crutches in the car, and trying to. I was in so much anxiety about what Charlie Pacherny, our stunt coordinator, who's a legend, was going to say when I showed up. And I find him first before they said, Pat, we got to get you in makeup. I said, got to talk to the stunt guy first. So find Charlie. He's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he, these tough guys. Oh my God. And so I'm new from New York. I've been here maybe a month. And, I was George Romero's friend, Rowdy Harrington, was directing it. So Rowdy was the one that got me the job. And Charlie's like, oh, okay, Rowdy speaks highly of you. I'm like, oh. So this thing happened yesterday. And Chuck just kind of looks at me and goes, okay, so you don't bend your leg. Cool. See ya. And I'm like, wow, these guys are so amazing. Yeah, and so we finished the
Wow.
day, but I tell you, I was pretty. It was intense.
What about the fall though? Like after
I know.
you stabbed the guy, you tried to stab the guy's hand, which was pretty cool.
I
And
stabbed
then,
I stabbed the dollar.
I
that
mean
he
the
put
dollar,
down.
yeah.
Yeah. I put down the dollar because it was such an insult, and
Yeah.
I get kicked over in the chair. I just had to stiffen with my own muscle holding that
Oh
leg,
wow.
and I did hit the table once. I did pop a stitch, but all in all, and I have a scar I'm still proud of to this day, but all in all, it worked out okay. And the stunt guys were amazing. They tried to figure out, how to catch me so I wouldn't get too, the leg wouldn't
Yeah.
get too hurt and all that. They were really great. Everybody was great.
Awesome. you showed up like a badass and still pulled it off. How cool
Yeah.
was that? You
Yeah.
know, it's really funny.
That's what
Once
you
we
do.
get to more listing of your work here, or movies that you've been a part of, some of these are some of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Yes, like Roadhouse. It's one of my favorites of all time. But yeah,
I love the hair in Roadhouse. Just all the
yeah.
hair. That's so 80s.
There we go. Boom. Let's take a look at it again.
I
There.
know.
Look at that.
Big hair.
Gotta love the 80s, man. But now, here's one of the big ones right here, man. Boom. Night of the Living Dead. That's right. One of the best horror remakes that exist. And Cryptik, isn't there like 5 billion other Night of the Living Dead remakes out there? Other versions that are garbage. It's just, you know, it just doesn't live up.
It just went south.
It just went south, you know. But this got it right, man. Like, definitely got it right. And
Well, George wrote it, and you know, he and Savini talked about it a lot. So I really appreciate too that they updated the character, because when Tom was first mentioning it to me, I was just like, "Why? I don't want to do that. I don't want to scream and cry and die." You know, that's just such a trope that pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, I mean, the whole '60s trope of girls have sex with their boyfriend, and then they go down into the basement. They hear a noise with a candle in their panties. You know, who fucking does that? Nobody. It's like, just come on. And then they have a sexy death. And it's just, oh Christ. So I had no interest in that. But Tom's like, no, trust me, read the script, you know. And then I was like, oh.
And even, you know, a lot of fans of the original black and white classic, I think even they have to admit that, it's a classic and we all love it and George is the man. But that character of Barbara's is like useless, like in that version, you know. It's just, yikes.
I think it's okay to. Isn't it okay? There's room for both. I think there's room for both. That was a perfect encapsulation of the time.
Yeah.
And the big splash was having a black man as the lead.
Yeah.
You know, that was the focus. And in the new one, it was that the girl doesn't crumple and fall apart. You know, so there's room for all of the above, I think. And I mean, the first one was terrifying.
Yeah, and like you said, there's room for both. You get that in this movie. The other female actress was kind of the one kind of freaking out and hysterical, you know. But it wasn't. What was great about Your Barbara, though, was the character was. If this would happen to anyone out of nowhere, I think they'd be freaking out normally, right? Like they'd just be like, "What the heck is going on?" But it was really good character development watching the transition from your character in the beginning towards the end. It wasn't like she was, you know, Rambo at the beginning of the movie. Like it was a realistic transition, you know, and it was really interesting. You know, seeing her go from. I
love that so much. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No. Go ahead.
Just because it's, you know, the beginning, and it's just shock and awe. You know, it's just total utter disbelief and how do I process this? And it's just one thing after another. And then Tony comes in, so you have the introduction of another character who then shores her up. So that she's not alone.
Yeah.
And he's so strong and capable. And he justifies her emotional response. He's also freaked out. But she can see there's something there that's mentoring her into a mindset. And then she finds her strength and courage. So I love all the levels to it, to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The script was great. Everything was just so well done.
Yeah.
We got a super chat here from Adam. Thanks for supporting the channel, Adam. He says, "Afternoon, everyone. I love Night of the Living Dead and Army of Darkness. Much respect to the stunt people." That's right, showing some love there. Gene says, "I'm losing my shit because she was awesome as the witch in Army of Darkness." That's right. Everyone's just having fun here. But let's keep it going here.
Yeah.
But how was it working with Bill?
Amazing.
Mr. Mosley.
Nice.
I love hanging out with Bill. He's hard. He travels so much. He's on the road so much. I hardly ever get to see him, but I love Bill. We worked together in 3 films, Army of Darkness and Dead Air. So,
Right.
I got to be, they're like, okay, what other relationships can we explore?
Yeah. How was Dead Air?
That was super cool because it was such a small cast and we were just us in basically one set, right? I mean, I think we branch out just a little bit. I got my first helicopter ride in my life, but that was at the end. It was a really, really cool movie. I enjoyed that so much. It's an actor's movie.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check this out. Definitely. I'm sure.
Oh,
Chet
you haven't
will.
seen it yet? Oh, I'd really
No.
love to hear. Let me know what you think when you see it. I would really.
Oh, sure.
appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd love to hear
definitely.
that.
I will. Because I like, I love action spectacle, but I also love the smaller scale
Sure.
stories.
And
I like that.
how the story is delivered, I think, is really well done. And that was
Nice.
written by Kenny Yackel, who worked on Babylon 5. So it's just
Oh.
it's just kind of interesting how our worlds come
Yeah.
together. Mosley it's a tour de force for him. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you think.
Oh yeah. I'll
Yeah.
definitely hit you up.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm excited to watch it. But yeah, I mean, at first, do you have any Grey Poupon?
That's Greg Funk, a good friend of mine. I haven't seen him in a very long time, but while we were working on he was also working on Babylon 5. He won Emmys for his work as a makeup artist on Babylon 5, and so he was also our stunt zombie. So we were able to kind of kick the shit out of him.
Nice.
And
That's fun.
It was very fun. I think I actually stabbed him once by accident
Oh.
with that arrangement, the purple flower graveside
Yeah.
arrangement.
Right,
He had
right,
a
right.
pad on him.
Okay.
But he moved. And
Oh no.
I think I kind of stabbed him for reals. But
Oh no.
he didn't
Oh,
make
he's
a
tough.
thing out of it. He was done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's tough. Yeah, that's a good point. It's right in the beginning, you're already kind of fighting back. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like you're responding like, what the hell is happening? Like,
A lot of hysteria, but definitely responding back. Yeah.
but I really loved, bringing up Candyman himself, the legend Tony Todd. I really loved him in the film. And I loved both of you together. You guys had really great chemistry. And just was really, really, really working well together. And, it was kind of sad when you had to leave him behind, like you could tell your character just, you made it through the night, and you were
Right.
so sad that you had to leave him because he was shot and wounded and he couldn't move, it was just great scene. But of course, my favorite scene in the movie was this scene, man. Like this is like the best scene ever. When when you're shooting that, you just kept pumping, just shooting that zombie coming in, and you're yelling at everyone, "Is he dead? Bah! Is he dead?" Oh, it was great. Oh my God, it was great. I was just like that gets Samurai's hairs up. Like I'm just like, yes, here we go. It's getting crazy now. It's getting crazy. But yeah, great acting there. I mean, if you watch that scene again, Cryptik, Tony Todd's like, holy shit. Like he's like the leader badass in the movie, but that scene where Patricia just goes off, he's like, holy shit. Like what is going on? But just great. Just
Girls got
that's
a gun.
my favorite.
Stay back.
Hey, it was great. It's like, I'm tired of you guys arguing like you're 2-year-olds around here, or 12-year-olds or something like that. You guys just stop arguing. Yeah, 2-year-olds. It's like, let's get it together. We need to survive. That was a fantastic scene. Love it. And of course, my favorite scene in the whole movie, besides that one. I mean, this. Oh my God, because I rewatched this last night, and I was just like, oh my God, that was so satisfying. You damn yo-yos! We call everybody yo-yos, right? And
Totally.
he's
so
a good actor too.
Oh,
but I'm just like, man, just him. Oh, you came back.
Yeah.
He's the biggest douchebag in the world, and that character was, and you were just like, no, you're not, no, you're done.
Well, now we know she's flipped over.
Yeah.
Right? She's flipped over the edge.
Yeah.
And I would, I would have loved to have explored Barbara, say, 3, 5, 10 years down the road. Like, what the hell would she be like?
Yeah.
Dreadlocks and just fucking batshit crazy.
She just said dreadlocks, Cryptik.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Patricia's gangster, man.
With the
Right,
chains and everything,
just
you know what I mean?
Sequel ideas? Is that what we're talking now?
Grandma of the Living Dead. Granny zombie killer.
And I'm sold. Cryptik?
Yeah,
Where
I'm
do we
sold as
where do
well.
we pay?
Let's do it.
Let's start investing.
Let's go. You can have Cryptik in the movie. He can be one of the zombies.
Oh no!
Oh,
I think
yeah.
Cryptik needs to be one of the heroes. He needs.
Yeah,
to
you gotta be fighting, man.
Yeah, I'll be with Patricia, like fly kicking the
That's
zombies.
it.
Like.
That's it.
I'll be one of the
I
zombies.
could be your mentor. I could teach you
Ah,
how to
I like that.
and then
I
the
like
story,
that.
and then I die, and you take the series on, right?
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
what has to happen.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
sold.
I'm down.
I'm your Obi-Wan, and then I have to
Ah,
die because that's the hero's journey.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Coming
Nice.
soon.
It is me and you.
and you're the hero.
That's it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But I got to be a zombie. Patricia, you got to take
Definitely.
me out too.
Oh yeah, and you'd be a formidable zombie, so that would
Yes.
be
Through the door, man. Yeah.
right. We'd have to like pull that stunt out. We'd pull a fight out of that. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Ooh.
oh no,
Takes
I
a
don't-
while to get me down, kind of
That's
thing.
it. That's it. We
yeah.
just can't quite get it. Yeah.
Cryptik, send all this information to the producers.
Yeah. It's noted, man.
What do you guys think? What do you think out there? How do you like any of this story idea that we're pitching?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
wanna
sure they
hear.
want to see Grandma of the Dead. Let's
Grandma
go.
of the Living Dead. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
down
yeah.
for that.
Yeah, that's it.
I hate zombies
man.
for reals too. I hate them. I don't want to watch zombie movies. I've never seen an episode of Walking Dead. Not one. I have no interest. It's just too much. Oh, God. And you're all doing it wrong anyway. So.
Oh shit! Yo, fire! throwing shade. Look at that. Well, you have the right to. All right, but yeah, phenomenal acting performance.
The Scream by Edward Munch.
Yes,
The Scream.
but yeah. Oh man, but yeah, love the movie. Those of you who have not seen the remake, make sure you definitely check it out. Some say it's better than the original. Look at
It's
that.
definitely a different.
It's debatable,
thing,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
totally, one of the things about the effects that I think are so impressive
Oh, great.
is that Savini, he dealt with his time in Vietnam as a combat photographer by thinking about how he could recreate this for film. So how do I recreate a realistic death for film? And so these effects that you're seeing are so devastating because they could be real.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like when you put a crowbar through a brain.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like when a body breaks in half. This is what it looks like when it's been decaying for so much little time. It's just, it's astonishing and gruesome, but it isn't the gore fest that a lot of horror films have enjoyed, because that's not really what happens, right? When a bullet hits, it's not like, 10 gallons of blood go everywhere. That's just not how it works.
Right.
So this
right.
film doesn't have the gore in that way, but
Right.
it's realistic death,
Right.
which is
And that shot, I mean, I've been meaning to watch
shocking.
the behind the scenes making of the movie too, because that, like you were saying, that shot with Tony Todd, like right through the head of the zombie, you can see it go all the way in. Like it just goes all the way in the head, right on top. And it was just like,
intense.
wow, how'd they do that?
I know. It's intense. And that's the skill and the artistry. And I think that is even harder to watch, because when I see a movie like The 300 and it's just splashes of buckets of blood everywhere, you can disconnect. Because
it's more style.
It's total
more
style. Exactly
yeah.
right. And it's you can enjoy it, but it's different. But when you see it so real, your body knows it's real, right?
Right.
And so you have a different kind of reaction to it, I think.
Yeah. And real makeup and real physical, practical effects.
That's it.
Those always hold up better than
Over
really
time.
bad dated CGI. You
Right,
know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right. Another, again, one of my favorite movies of all time. Boom. What?
Oh, yeah.
What? Army of Darkness, man. Holy shit. What a classic. This is just a classic. Never gets old.
Bruce.
This is one of those movies that I could watch every day. If it came on TV, I would watch it.
So I just think that Bruce Campbell is one of the most talented actors of our time and so underused. We should be seeing him all the time. I don't understand it. This is the thing about Hollywood that I
agree with that.
He's funny. He's handsome. He's got a great voice, a very distinct voice. And to have that kind of sense of humor, is like Cary Grant with the sense of humor. It's a very rare combo to be really good looking and to be hilarious. It's just, and to be willing to go there. He goes to places that is in Army of Darkness. I mean, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he is a legend. You gotta love Bruce Campbell.
For a good reason.
But man, this character here, wow. Like, how long did it take for this makeup? Holy crap.
4.5 hours to get in.
Woo!
And it was like 2.5 to get out. It was hard. I share this. This is true and honest. I was broke and starving. And I had done Night of the Living Dead. This was like 3 years later when we shot Army of Darkness. And I went to Greg Nicotero and Howard Berger and said, oh my God, I'm broke. Do you have anything? And they said, well, we are starting this film for Rob Tapert. And we do need to build an army. And we need to cast a body. You're skinny in those days. I was really starving and skinny. So they put me in a body cast and cast my body. And then they built the puppets on my body, like what the puppets would look like, so that they could put them onto, they put them into stretchy material, and then they put them on the stunt people.
Oh, that's right.
So there were about 12 stunt guys and me in the army, and the real people, and the rest were puppets, and then extras in the far back. So that was a day, at SAG, my Screen Actors Guild Union, which was very helpful. And then they said, hey, they're casting this witch. So do you want to audition? It's like, of course. And I was kind of bummed I had to audition for this witch part, because I had done a lead in a movie and blah, blah, blah. But, that's how life is in Hollywood. So I had to go in and audition for Rob Tapert. And I can't even tell you how bizarre that audition was. I was like spitting and screaming and humping the floor and just like, and Rob's like, okay, all right, good. That's good. And thank God I got the part after humiliating myself like that. So,
but this is just, it's an iconic character. Everybody remembers this character from the movie. It's just so much fun.
For like 17 hours. It was the longest day, and I was exhausted because I couldn't really eat, and I couldn't pee, and I couldn't do anything because it was a bodysuit, and my hands were also covered with these gnarly fingernails. So I was like sitting, like, oh,
oh man! Anything. But the actual fight. This is actually turned into an actual fight action sequence. How long did that take?
It was hours, but we had to do it fast. I mean, the budget on this is not extraordinary, as you know.
Right.
And we had like 17 squib hits, So they squibbed me for all those shotgun blasts, and you don't
Right.
even see them all because they for expediency and for the action they cut it. But
Okay.
I was hit so many times, and I can't see because they shoved those um, contact lenses into my face. They took 3 guys to hold me down and shove those things into my eyes because they'd take them out if we were going to have an hour break where they reset or something, and then
Yeah.
they'd have to put them back in, and my eyes they're like the size of DVDs. Like
Oh
this
my
big.
goodness.
They weren't made for me. They were
Right,
just,
right, right,
you know, and they were full circle, so they would cover the inner and outer corner of your eye. So they're just big, these huge circles.
Yeah.
Anyway, then I couldn't see what Bruce was doing. So I
Oh.
wasn't cued ahead of time as to
Oh
when
my
the blast
goodness.
was coming, right? So I had
Yeah.
to I took my cue off the actual how I would feel the impact. And that was fine. It worked out great. And then Sam said, "Okay, so for your death, you know, what do you want? Just do something awesome for your death." And I was so exhausted. All I could do was like, put a
That's
face plant,
great.
right? So they loved it. I thank God because I couldn't think of anything else to do. It's like fall on my face after that.
Oh man, but this was like good stuff here. Like, I mean, just
Thanks,
phenomenal stuff.
She bitch.
Like, yo, she bitch.
I
This
always
guy. Let's go.
I autograph that photo, she bitch. I have it for sale in my store, kids, if you want to go to my store.
Oh, there you go.
B5events.com is my store. B5
There you go. Make sure you guys check out the store.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is hilarious. This whole like backwards reverse shot.
Isn't he
and then
amazing?
Your
I know.
death right here. He has the blow. He has a, you know.
And then they wanted this. Sam is like, I want this extreme, you know, when you go for him. And so I did that rearing back thing and forward. And I was kind of limited because I have this hump on my back. So I couldn't
Yeah.
I didn't have the physicality, flexibility that I normally, but I went to go after him, right? Because that's all I could do. It was really interesting. It was
Oh
interesting.
man, yeah, that was
But there is-
this phenomenal.
That is fun when you feel like you're creating together as a team. Like Sam's got he's seeing the visual. Bruce is doing his character, and then I get to fill in what would this witch do, and it was really, really cool. It was very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
love
it's
it.
really awesome.
Love it. But yeah, I just love how, you know, when I first saw the movie for the very first time many years ago, you know, your character came on. I was like, oh shit's getting real now. Holy crap. And then it turned into an actual fight. Like you were beating up everyone in there.
It was so fun.
You played dead. Oh my God. I love how you cracked a smile when you were playing dead when the guy was getting close. I'm like, this Bruce Campbell doing front roundhouse kick on you. I'm like, what is good? Like, this is amazing. But yeah, love that.
Cool.
Love that. Very
Love
iconic scene.
Love it.
Oh man. All right.
Star Trek.
Star
Here we
Trek.
go.
Man, you were everywhere.
Yeah. I was on more than 50 episodes of
Wow.
Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, doubling other people for the most part. And a couple
Gates
couple
McFadden?
times- yeah, Gates. I was a regular double for Gates and for Michelle Forbes on Next Generation, and Nana Visitor and Terry Farrell, and all the guest stars on Deep Space Nine. I was so blessed. The stunt team really was a gift from heaven. Dennis Matalone was our stunt coordinator, and I had a uniform in every color in wardrobe, you know, because every week I'm in doing something for somebody. So it was just fantastic. It was fantastic.
And it was kind of a little bit of a dream for you, like dream job in a way, because you're like, hey,
God.
the show I grew up watching, I'm on
Exactly.
it.
I took
multiple times.
You weren't allowed to have cameras on the set, but I always had one. And I did have the first picture I took, I was a security guard, of course, a red shirt in I can't remember. It'll come. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
I set my camera up on a timer and in my honey wagon, and I stepped outside and put my hands on my hips so I could take a picture in my uniform, and I cut my head off. But in those days, you can't, because there were film cameras, so you
Yeah.
can't like go back and look. There was no digital,
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
look at. I didn't know until like I got the film back a week later, and I'm like,
You just got a headshot.
I put it in my book because I thought it was so funny. I also have a book for sale, kids, also in b5events.com store.
There you go. Plug. It's all good. There's no shame.
Hell yeah.
It's all good, man. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, how cool. And you're like all three series, right? Deep
I
Space
was.
Nine.
Yeah.
Next Generation, and what was the other one? It was
Voyager.
Voyager, right. Man. What do you think of Star Trek now?
I've just
The recent Star Trek.
Right,
Was
so
it Discovery and Picard? What's your honest opinions on that?
I just finished the first season of Discovery. There's a lot I like about it. And I've heard good things, like that they do keep up the quality and get even better. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
I love Doug Jones. Been a huge fan of his forever. And Jason Isaacs. I met him in New Zealand at a convention. I was so fangirl I couldn't talk. He's just sitting down the same row I'm at, and I went to get an autograph, and I'm like, such a doof.
He's Jason Isaacs.
He's such a sweet guy.
Yeah, that guy's great.
But I was an idiot. And then, and I liked Picard. The first season, I was like, it just wasn't coming together for me. But I'm hoping.
Second season will deliver.
I'm hoping they will. I mean, there are a lot of great actors on the show.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do better.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Bo, thanks again for the super chat, for supporting the channel. The chat has still been approving the sequel, Grandma of the Dead.
Idea, Grandma of the Dead. We like it.
They like it. They like it. That's right. I'm the zombie that bites Patricia. I get shot, and Encrypted has to.
Yes.
And you. Ah, there you go. Yeah, because you're the mentor. Ah. Oh, she doesn't like that.
No, I think
that.
There's potential there. There is potential.
Yeah,
There's potential.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, people in chat, they're still talking about it. They like that.
I appreciate it. I think that's interesting. I have no idea how I want to see that go. So, but I would love to have like just a massively cool writer on it and create something for us. Huh?
If I'm a zombie, can I keep the mohawk as a zombie?
Of course.
Sweet.
With the chain as well.
With the chain. Oh man, but that's really awesome. But yeah, you brought up some good points about Picard. My wife was like, there's things she likes and things she didn't like about first season.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they pick it up for season 2. Definitely.
I think they did. They did.
Oh, for Picard?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Myers.
Nice.
Oh, Austin Powers, baby.
Oh, I love this. This was so fun. I even loved my costume fitting, and I'm not a big fan of costume fittings, but that costume was so hilarious. It's this plastic mini skirt, and then the stunt coordinator, just a little fun fact behind the scenes, Bud Davis, he was also the stunt coordinator for Star Trek Generations, the Next Generation crew first movie. And he made sure I was on that. That was just a huge deal for me. But anyway, this was a friend of mine, another stunt guy who was a friend of mine, doubles me. So Mike Myers, if you haven't seen the first Austin Powers, like, what rock are you under? But technically, watch it. It's hilarious. The first one. And he punches me in the face and I fall down. Then I stand back up and I'm a man. And the man finishes the fight with Austin Powers. That man is a friend of mine. So he had to wear the same dress. They didn't make him a different dress. So we put him in the dress. I'm helping him get dressed because I have to change out and give it to him, and he's got to get back on set. It's moving fast. They didn't give him any nylons. So this dress barely covered our tush.
Right.
It is short. So I had put on 2 pairs of pantyhose. I normally do when I'm doing stunts. I wear like double pairs of everything. And I took off the outer layer and gave it to him because he was just there in his BVDs. You know, it's like his white jockey shorts. And I'm like, no. My kid, he's like, you're going to fall down. That's not cool. Put these on. So he put on my pantyhose. And he's like, oh, thank God. Thank you. We think that the movie industry is so glamorous and you're, struggling to find a pair of pantyhose. It's just...
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
But as a stunt person, Cryptik will tell you, we have all kinds of crap in our bag. You wouldn't believe the weird shit I had in my bag. Just, I love sanitary napkins because they stick to everything. So you get the big thick ones and you can put them under harness rigs for padding.
Oh, wow.
And you can stick it either to your wardrobe or you can stick it to the actual harness, whatever you want to do. So who would think of that,
Yeah.
Who would think of stuff like that? But as you hang out with other stunt people, you start to get the tricks of the trade. And you always need stuff. You always need weird ass stuff.
Oh man, these stories are great. I'm dying. I'm actually crying. I'm just gonna, like, ever since the monkey shine story, man, I'm just like holding the tears because I'm laughing so hard. But here we go, the big one right here, Babylon 5.
Very fun, man. Yeah, really.
So
cool.
let's talk about your journey on this series.
Well, it turns out the creator, Joe Straczynski, who wrote Babylon 5, had seen Night of the Living Dead. And he wrote Lita Alexander based on Barbara and on the spirit that he saw in Barbara. And so I show up at the audition and he said, Patricia Tallman. And I said, yes. He said, I wrote the part for you. Good luck. And he leaves the room and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was crazy.
How awesome is that?
Yeah. So
is she psychic?
She's a telepath.
Telepath. Okay.
She's a telepath. So she can read minds. She can pick up on vibes. She can project vibes and information.
All right.
And telepaths are an organized group in the Babylon 5 universe. So you can hire a telepath for business dealings. It's all very monitored. There's a psi core that controls telepaths and what they can and cannot do, because what they call mundanes will not be able to tolerate having telepaths around if they think we're just reading everybody's minds and manipulating them and all of that kind of thing. So.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like muggles.
How cool muggles.
It's like
how
muggles.
Cool is that he wrote that part just for you based off of your role.
Yeah.
That's right. Get some Babylon 5 fans showing up here, flexing, representing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was to have a job for 5 years is pretty amazing. We didn't know season to season if we had another year to go, but the idea that you're on a show for 5 years is
awesome.
pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty awesome.
We got some more fans here. Just going through season 4 of 5. So you got people still watching the show today, man.
Yeah.
How awesome
Youngsters
is
are
that?
catching up. The new
right.
generation. The new generation.
That's right. You got Ripper U here saying he's on disc 6 of season 4. Look at that. Everybody's watching it and having fun.
I love it.
Awesome.
It's so
Awesome.
It's really wonderful.
That is cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's keep it going here. And you were on also many other shows as well. You were on Criminal Minds and stuff. But how was it working on Castle with this knucklehead here, Nathan?
Oh, my God. Yeah. So I've always been a huge fan. Again, one of those moments where I'm just tongue-tied. I spent a lot of time on the morgue slab and I fell asleep because old soldiers in this in this industry, I had to get up really early for them to do the Y incision, the makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting. They did this beautiful thing on the morgue tables as they put down. You can't see it because it's narrow and it hides under your body, but it's a warming pad. They put a little heating blanket under you, so you're just laying there and they're lighting. And I'm just the cast isn't there or anything, so I'm just like, and my head's on the chalk. They have this this little chalk under your head to hold your head, which is a dead body thing, not a live body thing. It's not comfortable, but I still managed to fall asleep. And I wake up and they're shooting. They'd already started shooting. So, get back to sleep. I fell asleep again. Next time I wake up, they're all gone. They'd finished the scene. I'm like, oh. And that they put the morgue table up really high because they're all so tall. The actors are very tall. So I'm wrapping that sheet around me, trying to scoot off the table because I can't reach the floor. And I'm 5'9". I'm not a little person. And Nathan runs in and says, Patty Tallman, I'm such a huge fan of yours. I just wanted to say hi. And my friend who was working props, Kirk DePhillips, happened to be there with his camera. He and I were obnoxious on the set with our camera. He had been on Babylon 5 and he took that picture for us.
Oh.
So he came to see, he said, Patty, I was wondering where you were. And I said, oh, and so we got that shot really fast. But it was so sweet of Nathan to take the time to say hello. And then I had subsequent scenes with the ice pick through my neck and all of that. And Nathan came and sat with me because I was wired to the couch. I couldn't go anywhere. And we just chatted. And it was so cool.
Nice.
It was really, really sweet. When you hope your heroes are as lovely and they are, it's just really, it's great.
It's extra special.
It's extra special.
Everyone I've heard that I've talked to that worked with Nathan said he's just the greatest down to earth dude.
Totally.
That's
totally.
And his role in the Suicide Squad movie this year was hilarious. It was hilarious. I was dying laughing. All right, man. Just what an amazing career, acting and stunt wise. But let's keep it going here and talk a little bit more stunt stories here.
Sure.
So I'm gonna show a movie, and we're gonna play a game now. I'm gonna show a movie, and if you have any stunt stories to tell, feel free. If not, we could just skip and keep going. Okay.
Okay.
First one up. Action movie fans out there, they know this one. Shakedown. Any stunt stories? Anything to tell? If not, we can keep going.
Well, I can't. Sam Elliott's knees were really bad, so we had to keep an eye on him running up and down the stairs and stuff. His stunt double was always on standby because he did have to charge downstairs with a gun, and that is dangerous. Anyway,
oh my goodness.
But especially if your knees are a mess from all the work he's done and all the horses he rides. I don't really remember anything challenging for myself on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So let's speed this up a little bit here. So one of my favorites, Long Kiss Goodnight here.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a big one for me, to be honest. I was like the 5th stunt double they brought in for Gina because everyone kept getting hurt. Part of that was because it was so frigidly cold. It was Toronto in the winter where we shot. And her wardrobe was basically, a white tank top, a leather jacket, and tights.
Right,
right. It was not warm. She didn't have warm clothes on. And it was not possible to dress warm underneath it because it's skin tight, right? Everything. And I did some of the scariest shit I've ever done on that show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had to do a descender about 80 feet off a cliff in the middle of the night and,
oh my God.
And over a quarry. And I do not like heights. I got a lot of high falls and stuff. And I was happy to, hey, this is the job. But I was at one point hanging upside down going, I really need to rethink my choices. I have an 18-month-old baby, Sam Jackson's makeup artist and I shared a nanny because we were shooting nights. And he's back in that room. And if something happens to me,
yeah.
I really gotta have another look-see on this. And the other stunt that I did that just to me I will never forget was when Gina and Sam Jackson are driving. I think it's to get to the falls, and there's all these explosions going off around their car, and the car is swerving all over the place. That was me and the stunt guy, and they had. I still can't believe it. We were in a quarry, so the quarry because it couldn't catch fire. So there were it looked like a football field because there was all this PVC piping stretched out and marked out. I didn't know what that was. Actually, I don't think the other stunt guy did either. It was just, it went back and it was dark, so we didn't see how far back, and these lines of PVC piping. And then he walked with our stunt coordinator. He walked the course he was driving. So maybe he knew ahead of time. But they had, those Sparklets bottles, the big Sparklets bottles of water. They're 5, 10, I don't know how many gallons those are, but they had them filled with gasoline. And they put an explosive charge on that. And they had cranes where they had cars hung off the crane, filled with explosives, pulled up out of sight.
Oh my goodness!
We have a walkie-talkie in the back of the van and the car, and we're like, okay, are you guys set? We're set. And then these two guys walk over with not flamethrowers, but torches, and they're lit, and they start putting, or maybe the glue was already there. We just didn't know it was there, but they had painted the car on the rims with flammable glue that they then set on fire. And then they ran away. They ran, and we're like, what?
Oh no.
You just set our car on fire. Nobody told us this. And then they said, okay, everybody, and the stunt guy is going, when's action? And he just said, oh, you'll know. They said rolling, and nobody said action. And all of a sudden, this PVC piping was full of napalm.
Oh,
and they started exploding it. And then, go! It's like, oh my God! And so he heads to the first point where he knows he's heading, and then they fire off that whole canister of gasoline, and it explodes, and he's like, oh! And he turns him going in the next spot. That explodes. Then a car comes down. Ah! We were screaming the entire time.
Holy shit.
And I'm watching this car come down like in slow motion. And then it goes, we're like,
oh my God.
We finally pass Video Village, we're like, ah! And the car's fully on fire, and we're staggering out of the thing. We're like, ah! We can't breathe. And we see Rennie Harlan going, oh my fucking God, that was amazing. We thought you were dead. And we're like, what?
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
It was just nuts. And then they move on to the next setup. I mean, we were just like, done.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Go get out of makeup.
Holy crap. Wow.
So, I really needed to rethink my choices.
Well, it doesn't top. It's hard to top that story. Holy crap. Well, we're glad you all survived. We're glad you're here with us.
We have stories to tell.
Yes. Holy crap. Wow. Woo, filmmaking, man. And Cryptik knows all about that stuff. But there's so many other stuff that you've done, and we appreciate your work. There's
so
stuff from Speed, one of my favorites, Shocker, Creepshow 2, Jurassic Park. There's just so much.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll just have to come back and do more.
Hey, you're always welcome to come on back. Yeah, hey, I don't mind that. I don't mind that, definitely. All right. Yeah. Well, this was an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to hang out with the badass Patricia Tallman. That's right.
Thank you so
Cryptik Soul,
much.
It's always awesome having you here too, brother. Got to get you back on here as well. That's
we'll
right.
come back. Cryptik and I will come back and we'll chat.
Sure. Yeah. When you come back, we'll talk about Dead Air.
Okay.
We'll do that too.
Because you'll have seen it by then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll let him know when I finish watching it, and then we'll schedule something.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank
but
you.
Yeah, make this your second home, Patricia. You're always welcome to come back. Anything coming out, need to plug it.
Thank you.
Hang out with the Samurai. Let's make it happen. Speaking of plugging, where can they find you?
Well, I'm on all the socials. It's Patricia Tallman. So please join me on Instagram or Facebook. I'm easy to find. And go if you want to know more about my travel business, go to Quest questretreats.com. That's with an S at the end, Quest Retreats. And I had, during the pandemic, we were doing a lot of online stuff. So we call it B5events.com. And we still have a store there and we still put stuff up there. So please check that out. Do you guys have show notes? Can you stick it in your show notes when you post? Just a couple of links
I can do that. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
that'd be
handle
great.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Until next time, and all you badasses, that's right, keep watching Sci-Fi Babylon 5 represent Not the Living Dead, Army of Darkness. It's October, son. 'Tis the season. That's right. Enjoy horror movies. Have a great time. And thanks again for watching and hanging out with us. And don't forget to subscribe to That Fat Samurai Guy. That's right. And follow Cryptic Soul. Everybody's info is in the description box. And we'll see you badasses next time. Take care.